All right, welcome moon lovers. This is Curious Cat, and I have my illustrious co-host Imber Tyler with me,
Hello.
and we
Hello.
have 8 minutes on the clock. Hello, 8 minutes on the clock so that we can unlock some magic. And with it being the new moon, we have a new topic. So, are you excited about untangling?
Untangling. I love this topic.
Me
We've
too.
already played with it a little bit and it feels so good. I love it.
It does feel good.
It feels really important and significant.
Oh my gosh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, let's get into it. So, what is untangling, right? So, untangling involves grounding down into emotional healing, which is, kind of a heavy topic, but where the unconscious meets the conscious as you actively seek growth, activating transformation at the DNA level to create profound and lasting change. We're being the gardener of your own soul. And with that, true healing lies in the intentional choices that we make on the path of transformation, using principles of intentionality, patience, and healing to help navigate your emotional landscape with trust and purpose. Celebrations give way to a chosen path of healing. And our mantra is I trust in the process of my healing. So, taking that super heavy topic and really getting into that space of playfulness, utilizing our word of the year and seeing how that feels. So,
Yeah.
are you ready for a question?
Okay, bring it on. Bring it on. Well, hang on. Before we do that, the keys to this are patience and healing. So that I think is, I just want to say that because it feels really important too, like
I
during
agree.
during
Yes.
that
Thank you for, yeah,
during this month, during this moon phase, this journey that we're taking, of just kind of looking at emotional healing, that patience is a really big part of it.
absolutely. Yeah. And just being that going back to like the phases of the moon, we always have a topic during each phase. And with the new moon, to get us really started, we're looking at intentional choices. And so with that, that's where our question comes from. So going back to, are you ready for your question?
8 minutes on the clock.
8 minutes. Yeah, now we have just a few minutes less, but okay, here we
Okay.
go. How do you balance the need for intentional choices with the spontaneity of life, ensuring that each decision contributes positively to your healing journey? So that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. You know what I find interesting about that is, you just mentioned our word of the year, collectively, for all of us moon lovers that work together is playfulness. Last year it was balance.
Hmm.
And balance became so entrenched for the entire year that it's it's really important this year too, like especially with
Hmm.
this new topic. And that really hits the answer to that question. For me, it is about this balance or alignment. Read the question again.
I think that will help, yeah, because it is a
Yeah.
mouthful, but it's really going back to this emotional healing. It's like, okay,
Right, right.
because it pulls it all in.
It
So, how
does.
do you balance the need for intentional choices?
Okay.
So that's, I think, the key right there with spontaneity, going back to the playfulness.
Yeah, yeah. So intuition and yes, the balance, but a little of that being intuition and just making sure everything is kind of in alignment. So I know that the spontaneity and beautiful surprises that pop up, opportunities they pop up, that we don't have those crazy squirrel moments of like, oh, chase that nut, right? when we're staying in alignment. Right.
Yes.
So like knowing exactly what it is, having kind of a plan or a map for um your your healing process, having practices that you stay continuously focused upon in your healing process. And then when something comes along that is spontaneous, then, you could take that moment and think, hey, wait, is this really in alignment with what it is I want to do? Or is this like a candy bar at the checkout counter? Right?
Right.
Is this something that I don't need, that I just, ooh, it sounds good for the moment? Or is this something that really, really connects back? Um, and then that way opportunity comes. But it's taken that time. And for me, I'm pretty spontaneous, somewhat. Probably less than I used to be, but definitely, spontaneous. So I want to make sure that I am, being thoughtful about, my personal growth. If it is anything about having fun with friends or family and spending time, like love one-on-one time together, or supporting someone, then yeah, if something happens along those lines, I'm down. I'll do that.
So really knowing your values, it sounds like that knowing your values, your priorities, and really spending some time to figure out what you are at your core that you're aligning to, right? That's what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And taking time, especially this new year and this new moon during this time frame and in the early part of this cycle, to figure out what that is. What do I want that to be? Having a look through my um rooms of the soul, so to speak, and making sure that, I have my plan I'm trying to achieve, not only in 2024, but, you know, what is it that I want out of my life? The bigger picture even.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if someone, okay, Kathy, if you called tomorrow and say, hey, I just scored 2 tickets to Ireland out of nowhere, you know what? I'm going.
Exactly. Well, so what I kept hearing you saying is accountability too. And it's
Mm.
accountability to yourself as well as your circle of people that you've committed to is what I think is a really big part of this because when it comes to that emotional healing, it's like you're healing yourself, but you're also healing the collective because it naturally goes out to those around you. And
That's
so
that that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. And if I spend time really focused on that this year, and having that patience with myself of, it doesn't have to be done all at once. It doesn't have to be done today, this week, you know, but really taking time for this, to do this work at the right time, new moon time,
yes,
then yeah, that becomes easier. Each month it becomes even easier. So when strange things, spontaneous things, or exciting things pop up, that I can always filter it back through not only my word of the year, the playfulness, the collective word of the year, but my goals, my values. Yeah.
those intentional choices,
All right.
having that awareness and that balance and it
Yeah,
really
without it being like boxed in of like, well, I can't do that. I can't go to Ireland. I have obligations. Well, you know, is Ireland something like deep in my heart and on my list of things to do? Right.
right. Well, I even think about like even the topic of entangling because oh, all right, well there you go.
All
All right.
right. That's it. Time's up.
Time
Well,
up.
we covered a lot in that 8 minutes. I love that though. I love, our intentional choices are so important. And, my key takeaway is, yes, have these intentional choices, have things mapped out, but also have that awareness and flexibility and pay attention to your intuition.
Yeah.
What'd you
I
get
think
out?
that's pretty much what I got out of it too. And yeah, that awareness, number one, to have the awareness. We always start with awareness and saying, if if we're out of alignment, just constantly pulling ourselves back. And our intuition tells us that. It's like, hey, maybe I've done something that is out of alignment. So come on back. Let's get back into the groove and create that, you know, what I was going to say was that untangling is like, set it down for a minute.
Mm.
You don't sit there and say, okay. I mean, sometimes we do, but you get exhausted when you're just, getting frustrated and want to rip it out. And it's like, hey, what if we just set it down for a second?
Ah, see, that's what working with the moon cycles is all about.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
I
Be
love
do, be do,
it.
be do.
All right, all you moonbeams listening, we'd love to hear from you. How would you answer that question? Share your key takeaway, send us an email, a direct message, connect with us, share with us. And until next week, happy manifesting.
Happy manifesting.